to my channel, or if you're new here, then my name is Susannah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And tonight I'm making a delicious pie, and I cannot wait for this recipe because I love this type of thing. So this is my chicken, bacon and potato pie. It's going to be absolutely delicious and of course cooked in our Ninja Foodies. I really hope you enjoy the recipe, and if you do, hit the like button for me, and don't forget to head over to my website, which is www.susannahskitchen.uk, if you'd like a copy of the recipe, which is also printable. Plus you can get a copy of my brand new cookbook over there as well. So without further ado, let's go and make this gorgeous recipe, and if you haven't, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's go and cook. The first thing I want to do when I make my chicken and bacon pie is get my potatoes in the bottom here and pour over my stock. So it's 1 kilogram of potatoes, and that's 500 milliliters of, and I like to use vegetable stock. Up here, make sure your pressure valve is on seal, which is pushed towards the back. My potatoes, by the way, I have quartered or halved depending on the size of the potato, because I find that way that they're going to cook the best possible and evenly, because obviously you want to make a really nice mash out of this. So we're coming over here to pressure cook. We want a quick release. We're going to go with high, and I like to do mine for 8 minutes because I find that way they don't fall apart and go to mush, but equally they are nice and tender and mash so easily. Pressure's just been released, so I can open up the lid, and you can see here how the potatoes are still holding together, but they are lovely and soft. So I'm going to remove those now, and then you can drain those and mash those. And now we're going to go on to sear and saute and start making the pie filling. For my pie filling, I want a little bit of butter in the bottom here, along with some spray oil as well. Now with my potatoes, I'm going to be putting into there some whole grain mustard, some cream, some butter, some salt and pepper, and make them taste absolutely delicious. Even going to add some cheese on the top. Obviously all these things are optional. If you prefer yours a bit plainer or with different things in it, then you can do that. Okay, we're going to get our vegetables in here now. In here, I've got a small amount of onion, but you can definitely use more onion if you wish to. So say like half an onion, something like that. I've got plenty of carrot in mine because we like lots of carrots. But if this is for 4 people, then I would suggest sort of 2 to 3 carrots. And then I've got a stick of celery. And again, if you want to put a bit more celery in, you could go up to sort of 2 sticks of celery. Dice that up quite nice and finely because it's just going to help it cook that bit quicker and become tender. The vegetables have had around 5 minutes. I'm now going to add in my diced up bacon. So you want around 4 rashers of bacon. And I'm putting that in now because I really want to render down the fat and get that nicely cooked before we add anything else into the pot. Now we've got a good amount of colour in there, I'm going to add my chicken breast. Depending on the size of your chicken breast, I'd say 2 to 3 chicken breasts is going to be really nice in there. I'm going to turn that heat down a little bit on the sear and saute, and we just want to brown off this chicken. Now, if you wanted to, you most definitely could use cooked chicken, and sometimes it's great if you've got leftover meat from a roast and then you want to make something else. So all you would do is just skip this step and put the cooked chicken in at a later point. Now, I don't like to add my garlic in too early because if you're using fresh garlic, then it can burn. So I'm actually using some granules, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over the top. You can use 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, or you can just leave it out totally. It's up to you. And now for a tablespoon of dried thyme. Again, you can use fresh if you want to. And that's really going to season that so well. I'm now also going to add in my salt and my pepper. Now that chicken isn't going to be fully cooked, but that is absolutely fine at this stage. Got plenty of heat in there, so we can now go ahead and start making our sauce. So you want to sprinkle over the flour. You can use gluten-free here if you need to, and give that a good stir. And what the flour is going to do, it's going to thicken a sauce for us. It's just a really easy way of creating a sauce when you've already got things in the pot like this. And here comes our stock. So I've got 250 mils. I'm choosing chicken stock. I can always add a little bit more if I feel we need a little bit more. Let's just see how we go. Also going to be adding some cream to this as well. So let's just let that heat through. As I said, that's going to continue to cook our chicken that's in there as well. So I let this blip away. We're on level 3. We may be able to turn it down. I do find though the difference between level 2 and 3 on the sear and saute. 3 is sometimes too much, 2 is not enough. But that's just how it goes. So yeah, continue letting this kind of blip away like this. That is cooking the chicken, but it's also making sure that those carrots are nice and soft as well. That will naturally thicken the sauce up a little bit. You can put the lid down if you feel like you don't want any more of that to evaporate. You can definitely put the lid down on sear and saute and let that continue. But as you can see, that is really thickening that sauce. And we want it to do that because I want to add cream in to make this really rich and creamy. Now let's pour over our cream. Now this can easily be dairy-free by using dairy-free butter. The Flora blocks are really good, and the Alpro single cream or cream alternative is also really good and works perfectly in these dishes. So do try and always give gluten and dairy-free options, because I know actually a lot of my followers do have intolerances. It's been really interesting, the feedback that I've had from the book. Having put those in there, they've been really useful for some people. So look at that now. How rich and beautiful does that pie filling look? Now you can leave this like this, leave this to cool slightly, top with your mash, and then put it on to bake, and then you're just making it all in one pot. You can make this in advance like I'm doing here. So I'm making this in the morning because I know I've got a busy day ahead of me, and I want to actually put mine in the fridge once it's cooled and then bake mine tonight. So that is when your Ninja tin comes in very useful indeed. So I can make up my pie, and it's just a better size really for putting in your fridge. If you want to try and put your whole pot in the fridge, it's quite large, isn't it? So there's options there, but definitely you can go ahead, top this with mash, top it with your cheese, put it onto bake or air fry. Basically all you're doing is making sure that it's really warm and you're melting that top on the pie really, because everything in there is already cooked. But that is definitely why I like this kind of dish, because it's really versatile. You can even make it a day ahead and put it in the fridge. And especially if you've got people coming over and you want it to be stress-free, then this really is a great option. And it just tastes so good. Bit of veg on the side, like a bit of green veg with mine. So peas or broccoli is really good. Like I said, because I'm making mine ahead of time, I've put mine in my Ninja pot. Have had a little taste of the sauce and it's really, really nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to this tonight. So I think this is quite safe to feed 4 people, unless you've got absolutely huge appetites. So I think 4 people is about right with this. And as I said, you can definitely serve some extra veg on the side. There's plenty of sauce in there. So for me, I wouldn't need like any gravy or anything to go with this. You could do a chicken gravy if you really wanted to. So I'm just spooning the mash all over. You could pipe this if you want it to look a little bit more impressive. Maybe it's not just a quick family meal. Maybe you've got people coming over and you want to make it a bit more special. If you pipe it, it does look nice. This is all I'm doing. So I'm just going to then spread the mash so I've got an evenish layer. And then once this is completely cooled down, I can put it in the fridge and then I can bake this for dinner tonight. Okay, so I've just smoothed mine over like that, which looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I've got some whole grain mustard that you can see in there. Once I'm ready to cook it, I'll then put the cheese on the top and bake that, and that's going to be absolutely beautiful. Obviously, if you're doing that, just make sure that it is all piping hot. I will probably cover mine with foil so that it doesn't get too crispy on the top, and then just take the foil off towards the end to kind of give it a little bit of colour. But there you go, a very, very easy chicken, bacon and potato pie. Here we go. This is my chicken pie, and this has been on bake in the Ninja. Let's see if we can get a portion of this out. Oh, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous.